DreAllDay.com.
You're now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. What is that? That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called work on your game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is, we are on part 2 of our 2-part mini-series, 6 keys to getting more things done. Before we get started, a couple things. My text message number down below in the description. My emails, I send them out every single day. I call it the Daily Game email. If you are not getting this email, it's because you're not on my email list. All you got to do to fix that is go to workonmygame.com. That's workonmygame.com. Put your email address in there, and you'll be getting my emails for free straight to your inbox every day. I write emails damn near every day, and sometimes you might miss a day. So if I miss a day, then you can catch up on the ones that you miss. Again, workonmygame.com. And the third thing, workonyourgameuniversity.com. That's where you can have me as your direct coach. That's how you can get access to all of my trainings, courses, and programs, and get access to me on live coaching calls directly with you. That's all at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Picking up where we left off in our 2-part mini-series here, which is keys to getting more things done. We went over the first 3 yesterday. If you didn't catch that, make sure you go back and catch yesterday's episode. Now let's pick it up here today at point number 4, operating by systems and not by talent. What is a system? Definition of a system is a set of things working together as part of an interconnecting network. In even simpler terms, ladies and gentlemen, a system is a process through which you operate that does all the heavy lifting, all the thinking, and all the planning for you. And actually, when you put a system together, all the thinking and planning has already been done ahead of time, and the system does the heavy lifting. All you have to do is whatever the system tells you to do, which means you don't have to spend a lot of time figuring anything out or making decisions because the system has already made the decision for you. You want to see a good example of this? Think of a company like McDonald's. Their entire business is running on a system to which you do not need to be an expert in a burger or making burgers to run the restaurant. You can have 10 people who know nothing about burgers working in the back room of your McDonald's, and the burgers will come out perfectly because they don't need to be experts. All they had to do is follow instructions. The instructions form the system. The system are the instructions. As long as someone can follow instructions, you are operating by a system. All you need to do is have a set of instructions that you follow so you don't have to think, plan, or make decisions so often. All you have to do is follow what your system says. You follow a system often enough, that it hardens into a discipline which reflects itself in the form of habits. If you worked at McDonald's for a year or so, you'll be able to make the burgers without having to look at the pictures or read the manuals. You'll be able to do that within a week. Why? Because the system has you do the same things, the same way, every time. And when you do that, you're operating by system. Let me say that. Let me see this. Should I say that phrase again? The same things, the same way, every time. I talked about this in episode number 2013. All right, that's how you create a system. That's all you're looking for. So your only job when you're operating within a system is to do what the system tells you to do, which again, as long as you know how to follow directions, leads to the desired outcome. Next time you go into a McDonald's, as a matter of fact, you shouldn't go into McDonald's, but next time you walk or drive past the McDonald's, look at it and think of what I'm telling you right here. Next time you go into a place like Starbucks, I don't mind you going to Starbucks. Starbucks is the same thing. You need not be a genius to work at Starbucks. The system is more important than the person and the people. And both McDonald's, Starbucks, an Amazon warehouse, Chick-fil-A, any place where the process is the same things over and over and over again, it doesn't really matter who works there. There's a restaurant near where I live that I like to go often to eat food. And I've been there every weekend for probably like the past 5 weekends. And every time I go there, I see different servers milling about. And I sit in the same areas, but I see different servers every single time, even though I'm going there on the same day, around the same time. And one of the things that I'm starting to realize, well, not realize, but remember, that in the restaurant industry, there's very high turnover. One of the reasons that there's high turnover in the restaurant industry is, one, because most of the jobs are entry level. Pretty much anybody can get the job. If you're a warm body, you can follow instructions on a basic level. But another reason why there's so much turnover is because of what I just said, because it's an entry level job, and pretty much anybody can do it if you can follow instructions. If you can follow instructions, you can speak the local language, you can pretty much work there. And that's why it's so easy for them to keep turning people over and over and over again. Now, there are other jobs that require a little bit more skill, and you'll see people in that same job for years and years and years because they're hard to replace, and the job is hard to replace. The people are hard to replace and the job's hard to replace, meaning the people, it'd be hard for them to find another job that fits that skill set that they have to do that job. And for the job, it'd be hard to find people who are able to do that job at a pretty good level. So they tend to need each other. Point being, any job that is highly systematized, there will be a lot of turnover because it's easy to replace the people. And what's happening next is the final turn is going to be turnover from people to computers. That's what's happening next. So any of you who works at a job that is highly systematized, you're doing the same things over and over and over again, understand, if you don't already understand, there's an engineer working somewhere, maybe that you can see them and maybe not, to replace you with a robot to where your job no longer exists, at least not for human beings. That's coming. I've been telling you this. I've been telling you all this for years. So stay awake, not woke, but awake. Okay. Any business that is run by more systems than by people, again, think McDonald's, with the encroachment of technology and artificial intelligence, these businesses will very soon not have humans working there. All right, this is coming. There will not be humans working in Starbucks. There will not be humans working at McDonald's. There will not be humans. I've given you all the story of the Burger King that's in my neighborhood. I saw them put a fence around it. I thought they were about to demolish the building, but they didn't. All they did was remodel the Burger King, and they replaced the front line of what used to be registers with people taking your order. They replaced it with order boards where now your order is being taken by a computer. And now instead of having 6 people at the line taking orders, now there's one person who comes up to the front and they just give you the bag of the food that's already been made because they already got your order from the computer. So they replace humans with computers. And if you think this is not happening where you work, it's happening where you work. If you work in a highly systematized line of work, you work in a place that is not high touch and doesn't require soft skills, you are getting replaced by a computer. Why? Because systems are much more efficiently and consistently executed by computers than they are executed by humans. That's why. That's why this is happening. Whole Foods in my neighborhood, exact same thing. The Whole Foods used to have a whole bunch of human checkout counters. They were all human checkout counters. There were no self checkouts inside this Whole Foods. About, so let's see, what year is it now? Let's say we go back to 2016. There were no self checkouts at this Whole Foods. Then what they had was about 10 long checkout lines with the long conveyor belts and a person standing there. Y'all seen the grocery store before. Then they had maybe 8 of the express checkouts, 8 express checkout counters. Then they removed the 8 express checkout counters and replaced them with self-checkout kiosks. It was about maybe 8 self-checkout kiosks, not even 8, maybe 4. Then they slowly just started replacing more of the human lines with the self-checkouts. And the last time I was in this Whole Foods, there are like 25 self-checkout counters and maybe 4 human checkout registers. And Whole Foods is a holdout. Last time I was in a Walmart, and I was traveling. I don't usually shop at Walmart, but last time I was in a Walmart, same thing. Last time I was in a Target. It's slowly encroaching. You're seeing more and more self-checkout and fewer human checkout. I was in a CVS. They had 2 self-checkouts. They had 2 counters for humans, and slowly it's going to be 1 human with 3 self-checkouts, and then there's not going to be any humans. Now, what's actually going to happen is going to be 1 human just walking around, and they don't actually even do anything. Just walk around, just checking on the other humans who are coming in the store who are too stupid to use the self-checkout and helping them out. Otherwise, there will be no humans working in these places. So if you work in one of these places, be forewarned. Do not say you were not told. So anyway, the point is, we're talking about systems here. You want to get more things done, create more and more systems so you don't need humans and you don't need the talents of humans, including your own. Including your own. The good thing is when you control the system, you benefit from the fact that there's a system working other than the people. Now, when you are a victim of the system takes your job. But when you own the system, it's actually good because now you don't have to pay humans anymore, yet you still get the same work done. So you just want to be on the right side of this equation. Everybody got me? Good. Point number 5. Today's topic, once again, is how to get more things done. The key is getting more things done. Number 5, do things you're actually excited about or that you're excited about. Either you're excited about the process or you're excited about the result. Or both. But there needs to be some excitement involved. If you want to get more things done, you need excitement involved. Now, I'm not saying you can't get things done in which there is no excitement, but if you are excited, you're more likely to get more stuff done. And even if you're doing something where at the professional level, there are going to be work that you have to do that you're not excited about, and there's nothing's going to make you excited about it, you need to have a bigger picture reason as to why it matters, because the energy that you bring to it will lead to you getting it done faster and usually getting it done better and more accurately. And if you're dealing with other people in the process, they'll probably enjoy it more too if you enjoy it. So I'm not saying you need to be excited about every single thing that you do in life. That's not possible. Not if you're a professional, because at the professional level, you're doing a whole bunch of the same stuff over and over and over again. All right, that's inevitable. But if you want to get great results from anything, there needs to be some form of excitement, happiness, or just straight up energy behind your behavior. That's what I'm saying. That energy can be behind the process that goes into it. Maybe you enjoy the process. If you're an athlete, for example, maybe you like working out all the time. I personally like working out. Not everybody likes working out, but they still go to the gym. So it may be the outcome of the process. Maybe you hate working out, but you love being in shape. So even though you don't like the workout part, you like the results of the workout, so you're willing to do it. Maybe the working out, being in shape part is not a big thing for you. Like the idea of working out, just the practice of doing it, because it lets you get away from the rest of your life. And working out is like your fun thing to do over the course of a day. I've heard many athletes say that playing a sport is like their sanctuary from the rest of life. Maybe you're like me and you like both. You like the outcome of being in great shape or winning a competition, and you like the process of training and practicing and preparing for the situation. Whatever it is, you got to find some excitement in one end of that equation, somehow, some way, if you want to get more things done. You got to find some excitement somehow, some way in that, within that. Some people don't like, as I said, doing the thing, but they love the outcome of the thing. So you need to decide for yourself or figure out or just ask yourself. All right, maybe you like the beginning part, maybe you like the end part, maybe you like the result, the outcome, the process, whatever it is. Both people can gain great results, the person who loves the outcome or the person who loves the process, because both people have some form of excitement behind what they're doing or as a result of what they're doing. You want to get more done, folks. It helps to be excited because excitement is energy, and energy is 85% of the job in life. If you have no energy, there's a lot that you're missing in your equation. Energy is mechanically described as the capacity to do work. I wake up some days and don't really feel like working out. There are many days that I don't feel like working out. If you have young children, you know there are days you don't feel like doing anything because you barely slept. You didn't get your body and brain did not get a chance to recover fully yet. The alarm is going off, and now you got more things you're responsible for doing. Some days we will all feel like that. But my energy for knowing, here's where the energy comes from on those days for me. I know that I do things that most people won't do and most people are too lazy to do. And doing those things that most people won't do, most people are too lazy to do. Most people at the times and in situations in which most people wouldn't do them, and doing it more consistently than most everybody else, knowing that I have built that reputation, not only with you all as my audience, but just with myself, looking in the mirror. I know I have that reputation with myself. That's enough to drive me to get out of bed and go do what I got to do anyway, even though I might not feel like it. And if you saw me working, you would know that I didn't feel like it that day because my performance is going to be exactly the same. That's what a professional does. And that is a hint for all of you professionals out there listening to this. In anything in which you want to get more done, you need a similar equation. So what I just explained to you is a personal identity. My identity is I get things done more consistently, more often, and more inopportune times than most other people, 99% of people. So when I'm in a situation in which I could easily give myself an excuse to not, let's say, go to the gym, or not, let's say, record an episode of this show, or not write another email, or not clean out my inbox, I get it done anyway because in my mind, I have created this identity that I'm the person who gets shit done that most people won't get done because they don't feel like it. I don't feel like it either, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's why I have the credibility to talk the way that I talk about discipline and about following through and about mental toughness and about consistency and all of these things, right? Because I've crafted that identity and I make sure with myself. I'm not saying this just to impress you all. I'm saying with myself, I got to make sure I'm following through on what I tell myself I am. And if I'm going to tell you, I better be telling it to myself. And I better be living the stuff that I'm saying. So you can create the similar equation for yourself in the area that matters the most to you. Point number 6. Today's topic, once again, is how to get more things done. Number 6, write them down and prioritize. You want to get more things done, write down everything you need to get done, and then prioritize what is the most important thing, what's number 2, what's number 3, number 4. That's what this means. Write it down and prioritize. Whatever you want to get done, do not keep it as an idea in your head. Literally, write it down, digitally or physically, whatever. So you don't have to remember what you're supposed to be doing. All you got to do is look at what you wrote down. So now you have released the burden of memory from your mind, and your mind can focus on more important things than trying to remember what it's supposed to be remembering. Write it down. Now your mind is free to focus on bigger ideas. This is a very simple point, but it's one that many people take for granted. Many people overlook this and simply don't do it because they take it for granted. They see it as so simple and so trite that they're like, oh, maybe I can overlook that. No, you cannot overlook it. You should not overlook it. This is one of the main reasons why a lot of things you told yourself you were going to get done never got done, not because you didn't want to do it, not because you couldn't do it, Not because you didn't have the resources to do it, but because you forgot to do it because you didn't write it down. That's why you didn't do it. You just forgot. Do not trust your long-term memory. You ask most people if they have plans on being successful this month or this year, most people would say yes. Ask them to show you their plan of what exactly they're going to do to be successful this month or this year. 95% of people could not show you the plan because they haven't written down a single damn thing that they're going to do to be successful. Now, does this guarantee that they can't be successful? No. Some of you can and have created success without writing down what you were going to do. I guarantee, this is what I submit to you, I guarantee you will create more success if you start writing down what you want to get done instead of just thinking about what you want to get done. That's what I'm proposing. I believe it has a lot to do with how many of your goals you achieve, how high you achieve those goals, how quickly you achieve them, how effectively you achieve them, and whether you will achieve more in the future when we compare those who write down their goals or the times you write your goals down and the times that you don't. Simple as that. Write down what you want to get done. Write it down so that it is out of your head. You don't have to remember it. You can remind yourself of it and burn it on your subconscious mind because you are able to look at it over and over and over again. That's what we call a double entry. Thinking about something is a single entry. Writing it down is a double entry. Looking at it after you wrote it down is a triple entry. And the more entries you give your conscious mind of anything, the better the chance it eventually gets through to the subconscious. And the subconscious controls most of your behaviors, not your conscious thoughts. How many of you have consciously thought about something you know you need to do, never did it anyway? But if you keep reminding yourself over and over and over again, eventually it makes its way through to the subconscious, and the subconscious controls your behaviors even when you're not thinking about what you're thinking about. That's the level that you want to get to, is where it's burned into the subconscious, because that's when it becomes a natural part of who you are rather than just something that you do. And if you want to make lasting change in life, we got to change who you are, not just what you do. There's a difference. All that said, folks, let's recap today's class. This is part 2 of our mini series, How to Get More Things Done. Number 4, operate by systems, not by talent. A system is a set of things working together as part of an interconnected network or a process through which you operate, and it does all the heavy lifting for you. All you have to do when you're working within a system is whatever the system tells you to do. The system is the boss. You just follow the system. Even if you own a business, create a system in your business, follow the system that you created, and you can free up your mind from having to think so much about minutia and instead focus on bigger picture things because you created a system in which to get those things done. Number 5, do things you're excited about or that produce exciting results. Remember that energy is 85% of the job. Excitement is an emotion. There's energy within emotions. Your job is to pull the energy out of every emotion you feel and channel it into the productive behavior you need to get done. Any emotion. This is called transmutation. And number 6, write them down and prioritize. Whatever you want to get done, write it down so you can look at it and see it. Prioritize what goes first, second, third, fourth, and then do things in the order in which you are prioritizing them. Very simple, very quote unquote common sense. Most people ignore things that are simple and common sense because many people think they are too damn smart. You are not too smart. Write it down. Do exactly what I told you yesterday's episode and today's episode. I guarantee you your productivity is going to go up. Now, if your effectiveness and efficiency are going to go up, that depends on what the hell you're working on, what you prioritize, and why. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Have me as your direct coach. We'll get to work on that. And make sure you get my emails every single day by going to Work On My Game. Workonmygame.com. Get my emails free to your inbox every morning. Work on your game. Dre, all